Is this Uncharted?
And now we're going to have a useful conversation. It's turned out quite nicely.
Whoa, holy shit, oh my god, I'm nosebleeding. Sir, are you okay? Shall we call 911? Might trigger a lot of you with this pretentious statement in the title, but I cannot go against myself. Might be totally wrong about the perspective I'm pouring into this potential nonsensical rumble, but I'll try not to be. Might just get on with it, right? Okay, here goes. Here goes yet another Tomb Raider from our favorite developer Oops, must be doing the wrong script. Okay, once again, with feeling. Here comes a new Tomb Raider game called Soft Reboot or Rehash. Or let's just borrow the name and slap the totally different gameplay mechanic into the same old crap all over again. And it's from the ones that gave us an all-time classic called Legacy of Kain Soul River. Don't tell me that you don't already know who developer in the question is. Oh my. Right, this is the first Tomb Raider game from the works of the Crystal Dynamics under the not so inspiring name Legend. If you ask me, anytime something like this happens, it's usually a bad sign. You know, one developer dies for their sins, one or several shitty games, and another developer is given unpopular task to cast Phoenix down on a dead franchise. It's not easy to get to know the franchise philosophy so you can carry on with the sequels, but it seems that Crystal Dynamics managed to do that. Lara Croft is still among us, slightly different but strong as ever. Let's talk about the first and most obvious change, gameplay. To sum it perfectly, it would be like this. Tomb Raider Legend is Uncharted before Uncharted. It's poor man's Uncharted even though the game was conceived before Naughty Dog even knew what to do after a number of uninspiring Jak and Daxter sequels. Grid tank control moveset is gone for good, and now we have fluid running in all 360 degrees by using left analog stick and right stick for controlling the camera on the gamepad. You know, the best control set duo for 3D gameplay. Name me a more iconic duo. I'll wait. What? Keyboard and mouse? Really? Just go away. The platforming is highly improved this time. Grabbing the ledges, shimming across them, jumping all around Uncharted style. You know the drill. Tomb Raider Legend has it all. A returning feature is the grappling hook. Sure, in Tomb Raider Chronicles it was kinda limited by use, but this time it's integral to the gameplay. Can you spot this suspicious shiny object over there? Maybe you need to pull it? There you go. See this big pit that is too big to jump over? No problem, here's the grappling hook and we can clear it pitfall style. Free total 3D moving also helps in combat. Now it's much easier to engage in battle with numerous enemies. For the first time ever, the combat is fun. 10 enemies? No problem. Automatic targeting coupled with agile moving and jumping equals perfect multi-kills in these shootouts. No really, if you're good at playing, you can avoid almost anything and become an effortless killing machine. Another big change is Lara herself. While she retained much of her sharp, sarcastic and witty vocabulary, her looks took a slight change. A realistic body design took place here, and I believe this might be under the influence of a returning person called Toby Gard. Yep, the original Lara creator got back in business after the departure from core design because he was against over-sexualization of Lara Croft. So he probably got what he wanted, and Lara's proportions now look very believable. No more enormous jugs coupled with a ridiculously narrow stomach. This time she looks like your typical good-looking girl next door that you desperately want to invite for a drink, but unfortunately you suffer from venostrophobia. What a tragic shame! Anyways, to make Lara's travels less boring or more distracting, depending on how you look at it, she will be graced by many conversational passages by a semi-sarcastic duo called Zip and Alistair. They'll either have some stupid jokes or one-liners, or they'll provide hints or explanations on what to do next on a certain level. Sometimes they'll get carried away that even Lara has to slightly reprimand them. But it's a cool concept nevertheless. Helps to deepen the relationships between them and Lara's character itself. Alistair the historian might be new in the fold, but do you remember Zip from Tomb Raider Chronicles? You don't? Go back and play it then. What are you waiting for, huh? Lara's biography is also somewhat changed, like her parents' name, their occupation, Lara's title and some of the events before Tomb Raider Legend and so on. Her adventures this time have a meaning, searching for her mother as opposed to doing it for sport, as she said in the original Tomb Raider. It feels like in Crystal Dynamics they wanted to enrich the character of Lara Croft. You know, to make her more relatable with all the new virtues and shortcomings a typical human has. I'm not trying to say that Lara is typical, but I think you get the picture. In this sequel, as I figured it out, Lara is in a deep search of everything that can lead up to recreating an Excalibur sword to reactivate wannabe Stargate SG-1 portal and see if her mother Amelia is dead or alive. On the way, she'll be bothered by uninspiring twat antagonist James Rutland and her former friend Amanda, who obviously still holds a great deal of grudge against Lara. Lara wasn't able to save her from the flood, and now she's an internal monster bitch. Typical. After the disaster that the Angel of Darkness turned out to be, Legend is probably supposed to be playing its safe resuscitation of a franchise. In the term of levels, that would mean go to the remote locations and scavenge the ruins, just like the old times. This time, I'd say that 70% of the levels are set in the ruins, temples or tombs in countries like Bolivia, Peru, Ghana, England and Nepal. Now, this sounds very promising, and when you couple that with the new gameplay scheme that feels like Proto-Uncharted, that alone should be such an invitation. Tomb Raider Legend should grab you by the balls and not let go, right? And yes, you have Japan with the climbing frenzy on the skyscrapers of Tokyo, and Kazakhstan that serves as a one big secret Soviet laboratory hidden in the deep snow. Just enough contrast to all of the typical tomb raiding to keep you engaged. It's all awesome, and the game surely gives you many concentric ways of distinct pleasure of exploring the unknown with a trusty friend Lara. But, first of all, lots of visuals are wrapped in a rather bland, grabbed from the free store assets and pasted hastily together textures and graphic design. Yes, I know that we're talking about the game from the year 2006, but there were games that look way better than Tomb Raider Legend. Not even next generation content can help it make look nicer. Platforming sections in all of the levels and occasional shootouts are done quite well. New gameplay mechanic shines here, so that's satisfying even today, but the puzzles and the parts that require some brain cells to be activated are very simplistic by nature. It all usually boils down to doing some obvious simplifying mechanics such as putting boulders in places, or placing weight on scales to lift a golden block so we can put it on a supposed slot. So there is nothing special there. You can call me hater, but I'm not really fond of these motorcycle sections. Unlike snowmobile or quad bike in the previous Tomb Raider games, where the vehicles complement the platforming sections, biking in this game is just one big sloppy chase scene where you shoot at other bikers or SUV drivers. They just feel like a redundant move to prolong the game, and the game is indeed short. Yes, I've complained how Tomb Raider The Last Revelation is so long, but the Legend is so short. It always felt like, okay, I'm now warmed up and let's do some action, and... oh, there's the cinematic with one stone fragment found and the level is finished? Already? How? I have only just begun. You can finish the entire game in like 6 hours or so. Now that's properly short. However, I could let some of those shortcomings go. After all, it's the first Tomb Raider from the new developer that serves as a restoring fate in the franchise. But, yes, but again, the game is riddled with bugs, from animals stuck in places to bosses being stuck in air. I've surely had it easier fighting the Takamoto. Look at that fool go. Wanna go through that door? Nope, the game doesn't feel like it. Try again? Oh, now it works. There's even a game-breaking bug. No matter how hard I try, I simply cannot descend from the snowy mountain to the base in Kazakhstan. The game simply freezes. Turns out I need to turn off the next generation content and then the game can work. Well, that's just fan-fucking-tastic. Well, at least the redeeming factor is the music, which is good. No, really, the soundtrack really complements the game. Not much else to say about it, but guess what? The Croft Manor is back, baby! Oh yes, the fully playable mansion is back! But every door is unlocked only when you finish the Bolivia level, since that level serves as a tutorial, not Croft Manor. A shame. You cannot even walk outside, but the house itself is riddled with lots of rooms, hidden passages and a room for platforming extravaganza, and that's very welcome in my book. So, when all is said and done, Tomb Raider Legend needed to happen, but to me, the game feels like it's lost a decent amount of momentum along the way. It has a plenty of good ideas thrown in, but mixed in a short and rather dull experience. Maybe for a lack of a better expression, it feels like testing the waters to see if the gaming population would positively respond to another Lara Croft game after a few years. If they would, then the next games would be better, right? But I might be in the minority here, since everybody praised this game the moment it was released, and selling numbers of more than 6 million copies really cements those accolades. Well, I don't really know. Maybe I expected too much of this game and then I was left disappointed kind of. You know, overhyped myself. I don't know, maybe I'm to blame. What do you say about that? Let me know in the comments and thank you for watching. Until next time, kanpai!